Hi, welcome to Hedgehog. Hello. We're excited to be hopping with the La La Land block hop team today, and we're going to be showing you the new Woodland critters set as well. Tilly's going to be helping give me some techniques too, and we're also, last week we hopped around for the new release creating this heads up card with more Copic techniques, so check that video out too, which will be linked in that top right hand corner. So let's get started. So today we're using the Spring Woodland Critters from the new La La Land release. And I've already stamped out my scene using the Lawn Fawn Jet Black, so I'm going to use my alcohol markers to colour them in. So I will link up the masking video in the top right hand corner, but I started off stamping out my fox and my little creature down here. I think he might be a squirrel. So I've stamped him out down here with his big bushy tail, and then I've stamped my fawn afterwards. So I applied the mask on these two, and then I stamped out my lovely little deer here. When you mask and you want to create a scene, you always want to start with the creatures that go in the front and then work your way backwards. Sometimes it's easier to put your stamps on, take a snap with your phone, and then put them down in order. But I will link up that masking video. So to colour them in, I'm going to be using my Copic markers. And so I'm going to grab some colours to start off our fox. So I'm going to be starting with my Y20s, and I will make sure all the colours are on the screen for you as well. So now I'm going to show you how to add some extra texture into your fox. So you can see I've coloured her in just using my basic Copic colouring techniques, and I've grabbed a piece of washcloth. I buy a big pack from IKEA, they're a few dollars, and then I just keep these in the craft room for clear up and also for this technique. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some of the Copic Various ink. This is the blender solution. You can buy it in a big bottle. It's also great for cleaning up around your craft room. And what I've done is just add a little bit of it onto my washcloth, and you're going to put it over the top of your fox. So just press down for a couple of seconds, lift up, press down for a couple of seconds, lift up until you've gone all over the image. And what that does is it gives you a really mottled furry effect. So if you look at your fox now, those blends blend even better but it also gives you a dotty effect. Now you can go back and add some more shading and keep repeating this process, and you'll notice I'll do it again when I start doing the rest of the tail. I should mention I'm also working on Expressic cardstock, which is designed to work with Copics, and underneath I just have a piece of regular Neenah Solar White. You can use printer paper. Just you want something porous underneath, not a glass mat, because otherwise you will get a lot of bleeding in your ink. And you'll notice when I put that Copic Various ink down, I did get all those bleeds underneath. So do work on something that gives your ink somewhere to go as well. thing I want to do with my gorgeous little critters here before we cut them out is ground them. So at the minute, when I cut them out, they'll just look like they're floating in midair. What we actually want to do is add some background so that they look like they're sitting on something. So I have my YG00 here. And I'm just filling in the gaps between them, like this. And then adding just a little bit, so it doesn't look like they're sitting in the air. It looks like they're sitting on some green woodland. So I'm just doing quite a light coat here with my YG00. And then I'm actually going to take my YG03 and I'm going to fill in some of these darker areas, so round in where his tail is, just round the bottom of that basket. So again, it's just a little bit more realistic. So I'm going around the edge of this tail, and then I'm going to go back with my YG00 and flick again over it just to blend them out so it looks a little bit darker, but there's no harsh lines. The idea of doing these backgrounds is to not have harsh lines. So you'll notice here it's a bit more raggedy on the edge as opposed to being just flat. So now we've done that, let's just make these look a bit more flicky. So now we've done that, we're ready to cut out our image and mount it onto our background. So now we've cut our image out, I used my favourite things, double stitched squares. Now the reason I went for these and I didn't do a matting layer is because I actually stamped my image a little bit too close to the bottom. So rather than I could have cut it out, my scan and cut would have been an option. I had lots of different things, but I thought that this was perfect because I lined this up with the edge of my cardstock at the bottom, and it just, that stitch detail gives it a lovely finish as well. I've pre-stamped out one of the new La La Land backgrounds as well. I just love this tree trunk on there as well. There's also smaller stamps in there that you can layer up into multiples as well. So I'm going to cut this down to a matting piece of cardstock. So first of all, I'm going to trim this little bit off here. So a matting layer for me is 5 1/4 by 4 inches. So I'm going to swizzle this around. This is the new Tim Holtz Black Guillotine from Tonic. I'll link this up. I've been using it for a little while. I really like the sharp cuts it gives. And I also really like the fact I can cut 8.5 by 11 in a really compact cutter as well. So there's my matting layer. I already have my cardstock base ready. So this is half a piece of 8.5 by 11. Neenah Solar White scored at 5.5. And so I'm going to add this piece on just with some Tonic Funky Tape. And you might hear my little girl Miss Tilly trying to get in. So I'm going to layer this on. Now whenever I mat layers on my card, I always open up the cardstock. If you mat it when it's like this, you'll find it's really bouncy and it's hard to get a nice even mat. So that's what I always do when I do this. And then I'm going to mat this piece on here, and I just need to work out which way I want to go. I think I'm going to go this way. And I'm going to put it a little bit higher up just so that you see these woodland pieces at the bottom. I'm also just going to add a little bit of colour around this edge. And I just grabbed a little bit of the Walnut Stain Distress ink. So just to give it a little bit of an edge and to tie it in with that woodland dark feel, I'm just catching it here around the edge. So you can see it's a really fine effect. Now you can go thicker depending on what angle you put your pad at. The more kind of tilted downwards the pad is, the more you're going to get on the outside. But I want this to be fairly light. It would be really pretty if you went a little bit heavier maybe on the corners, just to give it that rustic look. And it would be great if you got your daubers or your blending brushes out, and you could do a little bit more. It would really highlight that stitched areas on there as well. But I'm going to just stick with that. It's enough for it to just pop on that background as well. So I'm actually going to tilt it this way. So it's going to slightly go over the edge of the card. Maybe it would look better this way. So this is what I do when I create a card. I more want it to look like a kind of candid photo than anything else. So I'm going to actually go with it this way. So now to do that, I'm going to add some foam on the back, but I'm not going to put it right to the edges. So when I use my foam, I use the big roll of Scotch tape, and then I just cut myself a length, and I'm just going to put some pieces down the middle here, because I know that some of these corners are going to stick out over the edge. If I do have anything left over, I just pop it on the edge of my roll here. It keeps it nice and sticky, and you can use it anytime. So I'm just going to go like this. Also means you get to see a little bit more of that woodland background on there. Now, sentiment-wise, there's lots of sentiments in the set here. So you've got your dear, oh damn, sending smiles, so sorry, hi there, hello beautiful, I missed your birthday. I'm going to go with the hello beautiful. Whenever I use a photopolymer sentiment, I pop it on my work surface. I'm working on the Tim Holtz glass mat, and I pick it up with my acrylic block. I get a much better print that way, and it means that my sentiment is nice and straight. And of course, you could put your sentiment anywhere. I'm just going to pop it down in this corner here. And so it looks like a little candid photo. Of course, it'll stand up perfectly because we haven't gone over that edge on the bottom. If I'd have gone this way, I always find that it's difficult with cards that don't stand up. I like to have one solid edge so that they're nice and easy to stand up. So thanks for joining me here at Hedgehog Hollow. I hope you've enjoyed colouring along on this new La La Land release. I've had so much fun playing with the little critters. I think they look so cute. I love his chubby little cheeks down there as well. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you don't already subscribe. We'd love to have you back here at Hedgehog Hollow. And click that thumbs up button or stamp it if you prefer. We'll see you again very soon at Hedgehog Hollow. Don't forget to check all your supplies in the description below, and I'll see you again very soon. Happy stamping! Bye!